All right, y'all. You like my homeless man I did in Mid Journey? I'm getting the hang of it, y'all. All right, let's get into this story. More Americans are ending up homeless at a record rate. Mm, mm, mm. High housing costs and evictions push more American people from their homes. I believe it. The U.S. has seen a record increase in homeless people this year. As the pandemic fades, the pandemic is not fading, y'all. It's not good out here, and they won't admit it. You know, they won't admit it. So, according to the Wall Street Journal review of data from around the country, the data so far this year are up roughly 11% from 2022, a sharp jump that would represent by far the biggest recorded increase since the government started tracking comparable numbers in 2007. The next highest increase was a 2.7% jump in 2019, excluding an artificial high increase last year caused by the pandemic counting interruptions. This year, a surge reflects a host of pressures around the US, such as rising housing costs, a lack of affordable rental units, and the nation's continuing opioid crisis, according to reports from nonprofits and government agencies counting the homeless. Mm, mm, mm. The journal reviewed available data from more than 300 entities that count homeless people in areas ranging from cities to entire states. Those entities accounted for 8 of every 9 homeless people counted last year. The journal tally thus far includes more than 577,000 homeless people. The outstanding entity, known as Continuum of Care Decline in Providing Numbers, didn't respond to requests or couldn't be reached. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, homelessness is soaring in 2023. These are preliminary numbers and a final estimate meant to represent a single night of homelessness in the US is expected later this year from the US Department of Housing and Urban Development. The numbers come from so-called point in time counts conducted early this year. Pending reports and HUD assessments could alter the final percentage change on the year. Point in time counts are widely considered to be undercounts of the true problem. The annual counts can be influenced by factors such as the weather and a number of volunteers. Yeah, you got to even look at what happened in Maui. You got a population of a town where people have been uprooted from their homes, and some of those people would be considered homeless, especially if they don't have nowhere to go. Wow. The biggest driver remains high housing costs, which I believe, I really do, which are now taking a heavier toll following a wind down of the pandemic era relief spending and policies such as eviction moratoriums, according to the advocates for the homeless. Yes. I knew that was going to happen. As soon as they lifted the moratoriums in different states, I knew the homelessness was going to jump up because that pandemic caused a lot of people to fall behind on their mortgages and rent. I mean, if you had a mortgage, you were kind of safe because at least the mortgage company was able to come up with ways for you to, resume with your mortgage payment. They would give you a different term on how long you can pay. So a lot of times people that had a home, they could pretty much be saved if you had a mortgage, but people with rent, that's a whole different ball game, unfortunately. So, data from the Eviction Lab, Princeton University research initiative that tracks filings in more than 30 cities, show that most of them reported more eviction filings this year through the end of June than they averaged the year before. So, wow. So they're also blaming the growing homeless count on housing costs and shortages. The agency said in 2023 numbers don't reflect recent efforts the Biden administration has undertaken to combat homelessness. Well, really, they've been combating homelessness because to me, they've been forking all the money over to Ukraine. Okay, I didn't see them combating too much of anything when it comes down to the citizens in this country. All we see is him forking over billions more to Ukraine. And I think they recently sent more money not long ago. So, such a reward more than $500 million in new vouchers and grants to address rural and unsheltered homelessness. Mm-mm-mm. So, they're saying that we are beginning to feel a full economic fallout from the pandemic era. And Denver reported a 32% increase in homelessness this year alone. Among the largest increase in big cities, Denver. The journal reported in June, based on data at the time from places representing about 43% of the prior year's homeless population. The numbers were trending higher around the US since the reports have come from many more places, including Los Angeles County, which reported a nearly 10% increase. So other cities that have noticed an increase is Seattle and San Francisco. Some places such as New York City said because of the influx of migrants. Do you know they are taking care of the migrants and the people that are homeless, that are Americans on the street in New York? Those are the ones that are struggling. I mean, it's just unbelievable what's going on in New York right now. The city where the court decisions were established, the legal right to shelter, recently reported 82,700 people in their shelter system in New York. Massachusetts declared a state of emergency this month because of the fast rising number of migrant families in need of shelter and services. The state has a unique law requiring shelters for homeless families. In New Orleans, they said they saw its homeless count rise 15%, reversing recent improvements. Mm-mm-mm. It's all the more disheartening because we made huge progress in reducing homelessness during the first 2 years of the pandemic. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Y'all, this is a shame. And like I said, all we see the Biden administration doing is forking over all of the money to Ukraine. And look at all the things that are happening in the US, and it's getting much worse. These are American citizens that are becoming homeless. These aren't migrants. These are people that were born and raised here. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.